And I think we're firing, Rick. All right.
Here we
Welcome
go,
to another edition of the Other League Pod. We have a man who needs no welcome, really no welcome. It's a long anticipated debut of Rick Shit Blizzard joining us for this episode.
About time.
It has. We're getting a lot of flack from a number of managers of guest appearances. So there's a short list of guys. You're definitely on the top of it. So happy to have you. Happy for you to be joining us this week.
Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there too. Zoom can handle up to like 16 people, on a regular.
Wow. We barely can manage two. So I mean, we'll see if we can work
You're
on.
Right. It did take us 20 minutes to set this
up. I'd be
right.
remiss as well to not at least say it on the pod. Congratulations is in order for Big Game Sny on the second kid. So he missed out last week because of the birth, and he might be out for a couple more weeks. We'll see. But yeah, congrats on the sack stuff.
Definitely. Now let's not forget about our friend Andy though, because he's got a hot little baby at home.
You're right. I am sorry. I would have forgot. Yep. So yeah, congrats to two managers. And same week, right? When was Andy's?
Like a week before, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good reminder though.
I smoked a pork butt in her honor. It was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, yeah.
That was nice of you. Okay. All right. Well, let's fire it away. Let's. I'll share the screen here. We'll recap. We skipped a week, unfortunately. I know we couldn't get on last week. Crazy week, obviously, that we mentioned, and then your boys were winning a Quake tournament on Thursday night. So, yeah, we'll share it here. We'll recap week 10, and we'll take it off from there.
Do it.
Oh yes, I did on the first try. Doesn't happen often. All right. Well, let's go into week 10. We'll skip our matchups. We'll save that for the end. Unfortunately, both of us taking L's this week, but let's fire away with Beeve and Tiburon. A really, really hot Beeve right now. Let's start there. The guy is
a hot Beeve.
It is.
It's insane. I had written him off. I was sending him texts like, dude, like good year. It was fun.
Yeah, he's back in the hunt at 5-5, gets a really good win over Ryan. And I mean, we usually try to break these off as you've seen in the episodes and try to not kind of, I don't know, be redundant with these players. So I guess I'll start. I'll let you do Nils' side. I'll do Ryan real quick. Kind of subdue game, unfortunately, again from Lamar Jackson. I mean, their offense, I mean, tough loss. I mean, last second loss to Cleveland, kind of a comeback there. But they just haven't really been doing much overall, I don't think, in terms of their production with Lamar and Andrews, that stack that started, so hot that we kind of mentioned earlier on in the year. I mean, they're down now. He's got essentially less than 15 points the last 3 weeks, fantasy purposes wise. So,
yeah, dude, he did the same thing. He just played me. Same thing. Like Baltimore had he had a good game, but they just ran the ball in every time.
Yeah. So it's tough when your quarterback's getting, 15 less. I mean, not go adversely. I mean, Nils gets 5 from Derek Carr and still ends up putting up a 120 mark. But outside of that, I mean, Bijan had a nice game for Ryan. I think that was one of the better games of his early career. I mean, he's been kind of subdued a little bit in terms of Arthur Smith and that weird offense. I don't know. Their coach is just so.
Yeah, I don't get it. They're not giving him the ball. It's very weird.
I don't get it. I mean, he finally gets
20. Algier so much. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the whole offense is just weird how they kind of draft this guy so early and they don't want to give this guy the rock. But he finally gets 22 carries this week and gets 17 points, gets in the end zone. I mean, good week from him. I got to talk about St. Brown. I mean, the guy puts up 30. I think he's been consistently putting up. I think that's his fourth or fifth game in a row of 100+ yards receiving. So yeah, guy's been great. Guy's been really steady for him. So outside of that, kind of the norm. I mean, he gets to 115. We kind of keep harping on the 120 mark, but at 115, that's a good score. You're definitely going to be in most games, fantasy purposes wise, with that score. He just comes up a little short to a really hot Beeve.
Dude, the Beeve is very hot right now. I don't see him making playoffs. I don't like his team. I think without CeeDee Lamb, he loses this game. I mean, 100%. CeeDee Lamb puts up 40 points. It's ridiculous. There's nothing else to talk about on the team. Like, Foreman,
No,
Foreman's
he's kind of
been crazy.
yeah
Like no one expected that, but I don't know. Everybody else puts up like what you'd expect. McLaurin 7
yeah
points. I think the projections on some of these receivers the Yahoo has are insane. I think
yeah
7 is exactly what you expect from him. Carr putting up 6 sucks, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb putting up any of your players put up 40 points, you're putting yourself in a position to win. So that's what you got. And Najee Harris, like, 18.6. That's
Yeah, that was,
I
obviously the
can't.
out.
Every time he gets over 10, I can't believe it. Like I
Yeah,
almost traded for him, and I was like, no, this guy sucks. He's terrible. And then I should have sent Mills the trade because I was going to trade bait him with Kittle, his boy. He loves San Fran. I was going
oh,
to try to just
it's,
straight up Najee Harris for Kittle, and
yeah,
but
it's funny
whatever.
because Najee Harris has a pretty good game, obviously considering like what his output was, and now and immediately after that game, which they win. I mean, they should have beat the Packers, and they did. They already said Jalen Warren's now the starter, so it'll
Yeah,
be
Warren looks
yeah,
so much better. Like
he's explosive. Yeah,
he's
yep.
just he's just a better player.
Yeah, he's been.
So
I mean, Nill's
yeah, I
definitely
mean,
been a little lucky for sure in the sense that which is part of fantasy for sure. I mean, this Foreman pickup for him has been huge, just to kind of plug and play as
yeah,
another RB for him. And then CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he's got, I think it was three or four games in a row of like 10 catches, 150 yards. I mean, that in a full point PPR league, to your point, I mean, he's putting up. I mean, we'll look at it right here real
yeah,
quick.
it's crazy.
41, 28, and 39 the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it's
It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah, so the
Yeah, if he
guy's
keeps
guy's
that
playing out
up,
of his
I
mind.
mean,
Yeah, I mean it's a good win from Nils.
and
I
he's got
mean,
Waddle. I mean,
yep.
Waddle was on a bye.
Yep.
Baltimore's
Yep.
D has been great. I mean, Baltimore loses 31-33 to Cleveland and still gets 15 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's got
I can't
Dallas's
believe
D
Mills
too.
didn't play Dobbs. I was surprised he didn't play Dobbs. I mean, New Orleans has D is okay, but still.
No, no, you're right. I mean, he's got to play that. Unfortunately, with Cousins out, now he's just gonna have to kind of plug and play matchups again. So I mean that does stink from just a managerial standpoint when you're not really on a surefire, especially at the quarterback position. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think to your point, I've been saying Nils' team for a long time during the season wasn't great, and now he's at 5-5. So hey,
Dude,
it is what it
it's a
is.
hot,
Yeah,
it's a hot beef. It's a hot beef, and
yeah, he's hot. He's
who do
trending.
we
He's
got next?
trending up. He's got 2 wins in a row too. Just kind of looking at the streak here. Yeah, let's move on. We'll go to another hot player that's been filling in well for
Dangle.
Finkel. Yeah, Ant's been
This basically went exactly as you would expect from these two
100%. Yep. Yeah. I mean,
teams.
and just a note because like I like to touch on because we haven't had a chance to, and when we get into some of these breakdowns, just talk about some of these trades. And whatever. I mean, it's all subjective to like the managers and stuff like that. And I knew that Phil was going to make a move at some point with Pitts and Kelsey. I mean, I was been trying to basically pry at least Kyle Pitts from him, never thinking he was going to trade Kelsey, and
Yeah.
then I just
Yeah, I
that's
don't
what
know
we
how you
should
get rid
start.
of him.
That's what we should start doing. Is to your point, is like bring these guys on and just be like, what is your thought during this? Because like again, on the paper,
I got
I
a
just
few
don't.
of those. Don't worry, I got a few of those lined up. But
Okay,
I don't have
okay,
anything
yeah,
from Smith. I don't have anything from Phil to back up getting rid of like the number one tight end.
yeah. And
Who
I mean, I
like
know it's
yeah,
been.
he had a bad week, but
Yeah, to your point, it's been rough. I mean, he's had some good weeks, Kelsey, but again, the number one tight end. I know he was on bye again, and I just the thing is, I just don't get the value coming back to propel your. He's on now a 6-game losing streak. So I mean, you really have to get some
he hit
value.
6.
It's 6. Yeah, I looked at the standings before we jumped on.
Oh
So yeah,
yeah, yeah, there it is.
he's really tanking, and he's not looking great. I mean, Swift's a good pickup. I mean, it's true. I mean, Swift's a good pickup. I don't think he needed running back help again. So again, I just don't understand the value of getting rid of Kelsey and not getting a return like surefire guy that's going to put up 25 a week because that's what Kelsey can do, obviously. So yeah, just a weird trade. Didn't really wasn't even able to play Swift because he was on bye too. So yeah, kind of a straightforward. I'll take Anthony's team over, and we don't have to touch on too much. I mean, he had Dak Prescott and Keenan Allen go for 85. I mean, basically beat Phil with two players. Essentially, it's crazy. I mean, Anthony's team is just
great play with it. I mean, Indianapolis. I don't know if you picked them up like off the waivers. Or
I'm not sure either. Yeah, I think
New England
he
is
probably
just terrible.
Yeah, I think he did stream
so
them
bad.
possibly, but yeah, Ant's team's just, I mean, overall just loaded. He has kind of a down week, obviously. I mean, the ETN was playing against San Fran. San Fran blew them out. That game wasn't even close at any point in the game, so there was no chance of them getting any run really. And yeah, I mean, Anthony makes that that small deal just to kind of note some trades that went on before this week to get Cade Otton, which was coming off a 2-touchdown game. I know Anthony was making all kinds of inquiries of just tight ends with.
Oh yeah, dude. I was trying to work a deal with him for Kittle, and Anthony, if you're listening, that trade you sent back to me, once again, I'll say it, disrespectful, dude. I mean, that was an insane trade.
I know what was the parameters?
Oh, I don't remember. I was offering up like Kittle and somebody else. I think it was like Kittle and Puka for Breece Hall and I don't know, Thielen, or it was something reasonable, right? Where like Yahoo's projections were like, oh, I'm gonna get +4, Anthony's gonna get -5, or like I think maybe I was minus, he was plus. He says to me something where even Yahoo was like, Finkel's gonna be +30 for the rest of the year, and shit is gonna be -50. It's like, dude, I get that Yahoo projections are bullshit, but like, give me a break. Like,
yeah,
they're bullshit across the board, so somewhat evens out. So,
yeah, I don't know what
he obviously wasn't looking to add a good tight end. He obviously was happy with his shitty tight ends, and we'll see how it plays out for him.
Yeah, I mean he didn't need it, but it doesn't look good when your tight end that you traded for gets 3. I will say that, but
no.
Yeah, I don't think he was from the conversations that I was having with him. Again, I wasn't obviously involved with a lot of the trade talks that he had, but I know on the surface he wasn't really just trying to trade a bench guy like Mike Evans or Jerry Jeudy, who ended up trading for this, for Cade. But
that's who it was. It was actually it was Breece Hall and Mike Evans.
Okay.
Which was it was Breece Hall and Evans for I don't know, Puka and Kittle, which I thought was a good trade.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a fair trade. I think
it would have made his team even better. Like his team is scary, and to add a Kittle to his lineup is. I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting.
I don't know want to do it.
I don't know how long Goddard's gonna be out either for him. So I mean that's the other
4 to 6 is what
they're talking about.
We still playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean I think that was the big factor in him not wanting to kind of get rid of some pieces from the conversation I had with him. But again, I mean, it sucks because you look at this team and this roster, like you said, and even some of the guys he has on his bench. It's like, dude, you're only whole now with you're only whole now, especially with Dak playing the way that he is, which is crazy because like Dak's just come alive. That his only weakness really is his tight end. So it's crazy.
I loved it. Like 2 weeks ago too, he just like shit on Dak on the podcast. It was like, I don't think Dak's great. I think he sucks, but that's just me. I think he was talking about CeeDee Lamb. I think he was talking about CeeDee Lamb on Milton's team. He's like, I think Dak sucks.
Yeah,
and now, he just got him 45 points.
Yeah, I mean, Dak's really like honestly the last like 3 or 4 4 weeks really. I mean, 26 before his bye and then 36, 34, and 45. He's been balling. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, really straightforward. I mean, nothing really to note besides. I mean, again, Phil. I mean, I'd like to put a PSA. I don't know if Phil or Snyder know this. We'll get the Snyder's team. Trading away your players doesn't surefire away getting you the number 1 pick next year. So I just want to let everyone know that we still randomize the order because right now I think those franchises are tanking. I don't understand, but we'll move on. I mean, I just like I said that I didn't get any part of Phil's trade in terms of the value he got back. So, and of course, Andy's the one that gets the boost. Of course. Let's go into the other brotherly matchup, the only brotherly matchup of the week, I believe. Arby's and the Bandits, which was a pretty good matchup overall. I mean, projections had it basically even. I mean, again, don't take much from projections, but the Bandits get a big win against a really good Arby's team. I mean, we've been hyping Arby's up all year on the pod. If you've been listening, a team that I think's been really, really steady, and I think he's still going to be in good shape with a loss. But um, I'll kick it over to Arby's team just real quick here. I know we had a couple guys on bye.
Yeah.
I mean, Collins is out. AJ Brown was on bye, obviously. Kind of just looking at a structure here. I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, he's getting a lot of shit, but he's still the number one quarterback in fantasy, regardless of all the interceptions he's throwing. So, I mean, he's still, down week, but I don't think there's too much to worry about. And obviously, them firing their offensive coordinator. I mean, time will tell. We'll see if that offense picks up.
Is he still number one overall? Oh
Still
yeah,
number
he
one.
is rank one.
Yeah,
I
in
didn't
terms
know
of
he was
like points per game.
number one.
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Debo gets back and scores. I'm sure that was a welcome sign for Arby's in that sense. Derrick Henry, just an absolute terrible game. I mean, these are these dud games that you're going to get from
Dude,
Tennessee.
their offense is terrible. Yeah.
They're just not a good team. Yeah. So I mean, he hits on Douglas a little bit there in terms of just like a plug and play for some of those wide receiver buys. Rachaad White, we've been kind of talking about a little bit in the last pot or two. I mean, he's been. I mean, I wanted nothing to do with any Tampa Bay player after Brady retired, besides like maybe Mike Evans. And this guy's been killing it. I mean, I'm shocked every time I see it. Yeah, he's getting volume.
He looks like a wide receiver too. It's weird. He doesn't look like a running back. He looks like too tall and lanky. You know what I mean?
And they've been feeding
him.
They've been feeding him like a ton of throws too. You could see he scored on a reception touchdown, but not as many targets, I should say, last week. But I mean, now he's getting 20 rushes each game here. I mean, the guy's been great. I mean, I wouldn't have expected to say that Rachaad White would have been his best running back, which it has been. And then he hits on Warren. We kind of noted he's taken over that backfield, so that helps. I'm not really too concerned. I mean, he had his big hitter AJ Brown on bye, so that's a lot of points to make up in some instances. I mean, 102, you're just not scoring at 100. You're not going to win. I mean, it takes a really bad week from your opponent to score 100 and get a W in this league. So, yeah, unfortunately, you had a couple guys on bye. Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. Yeah. I mean, I'll let you note a couple things on Aaron's team. I mean, the big thing is Hawkinson. I mean, the guy's been incredible.
He's unreal. I watched that game. That was awesome. I mean, he took. Did you watch that? I mean, he took a beating every time he got hit. He was like, he got the wind knocked out of him. Like he looked like he was potentially going to be out of the game, and he just kept going out.
I mean, the guy is like. The guy's got like 71 catches on the year from the tight end spot.
He's like a Viking. He looks like a Viking.
Very
little Viking.
Very fitting to be on that squad. But yeah, he's been unbelievable, and he's absolutely killing it. I mean, I kind of expected some volume to go his way, especially after the Jefferson injury. But I mean, he's just getting targets, catches. I mean, he went off. I mean, and he had like 26 points at halftime. I mean, he didn't do much in the second half of that game, which is kind of weird. But I mean, he's been great. He's been a huge point cog for the Bandits during his week to week point total.
Yeah.
And kind of just the regular guy score for him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised about Ridley's a guy I almost tried to trade for because I thought like, Calvin Ridley, he's gonna go off.
Me too.
Coming back. I mean, he started hot. He had that big game to start, and he's been pretty quiet. I mean, he had a couple decent games, but
not great.
Points, that sucks. But I mean, it was nice to see Chase. I'm sure you liked that. Chase had a typical Jamar Chase game, and I don't know. Hubbard sucks. The Carolinas is terrible.
Yeah,
I know that from playing Bryce Young last week, but
his running backs. I mean, besides Mostert, who he traded for, like Pollard's been a huge disappointment this year, man. Like he kind of started those first three games, those first three games, like the value was there. You kind of like, all right, this guy was going to go in round one in our league. I mean, obviously he got kept, but I mean, he is just, and that offense is kind of humming a little bit now, and he's still like they're just 12, 15. I mean, he's not even really getting any run. He got 0 targets.
The other guy looked better. Did you see the backup? I forget his name.
Yeah, I forgot his name too. Doddle or whatever his name is. D-O something. D-O-W. So I forgot how you pronounce it. But yeah, he looks good. Yeah, so it's Yeah, I mean, he might, give some work, obviously to the backup a little bit if he's looking good. So yeah, it's it's funny you say about Ridley because I had huge but as I said to the last pod, like talks with Aaron about trying to trade for Kincaid and Ridley and kind of a blockbuster deal before he made that
Oh
trade with
yeah,
Steve. And like I'm kind of like looking back, I mean, Kincaid's been great, but like I mean, this would make me sick. Like if I put out a guy as my wide
yeah, yeah.
receiver two and he has four,
Dude, look at the
that's
1 week. Week 7 he has 1.5 points. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
that's
this is just yeah, like you can't, and he has only two touchdowns on the year. I mean that's tough, man. I mean, touchdowns are so big in fantasy. So yeah, I mean, he's got the Dolphins coming back. He gets a good win here, so he gets at 6-4. I mean, as Ben noted in our group text today, I mean, there's 9 teams above 500, which is, I mean, I can't remember a year where it's like there's been it's been that top heavy. I'll say.
yeah. No,
So
this is
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
good win by the Bandits for sure. Yeah, let's move down
Who's
to the
up?
highest point total of the week. Just squeaks out over Finkel, Stevie
Is that
Riggs.
Steve?
Yeah,
Oh,
162. Had a
blowout, dude.
monster week. Yeah, this was a
It
blowout.
was
Not
not
not on
pretty. It was
not on
Yahoo's blowout
paper.
of the week.
Yeah, this was probably really tough for Sny. I mean, especially after saying he was gonna go home with his daughter, newborn daughter, and watch a win this week. He was far from the win.
It's probably best that it happened then. He's distracted. Maybe
That's
he
true.
realized there are
That's
more
true.
important things in life. You know,
Yeah, I mean, his team
maybe.
falls 26 points short of their projection. That's rough. Yeah, just I mean, it starts obviously. I mean,
Also, let's also note Briggs more than doubled his total.
yeah, that's
So
tough. That's tough. But yeah, I mean, Snyder. It really starts with um, he's playing two Jacksonville,
let me
Jaguars.
take Snyder. Let me take Snyder.
All
I've
right, all
got
right,
some notes
go.
here about.
Good,
I'm
good,
gonna I'm
good.
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna throw in a little. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit here. So I'm a little
Good.
salty about this because last year Snyder won the league, and he did so by trading draft picks. Well, who else
Hmm.
tried to trade draft picks last year? This guy. Now I took it a little extreme. Granted, I did that, but me and Andy had a deal. It was legal per the rules, and it got shot down. And whatever. We finished the year. I ended up in the last place. Fine. Snyder wins because of that. Like so like he said in the one podcast, nobody wants him to win the league. Well, he's right. Nobody wants him to win the league this year. He won last year, 100%. And I just want to highlight, and Yahoo said it best here in their little recap. Pain Train's struggles continue with a record of 3-7 and languishing at 11th place. Now, for those of you less educated, Webster's Dictionary defines languish as to become weak or feeble, to lose strength or vigor. And that basically sums up Pain Train right here. I mean, pathetic performance. He sold his soul to the devil last year, which I do respect, honestly, but he's paying
Got
for
him
it.
a ship.
And
Yeah, got him a ship.
and I'll say this too. Thank God for his brother, because if not for his brother, he'd be wearing the dress next year, I think.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I mean they're
and,
fighting for it.
I want to, like, one more thing. I'm gonna quote. I was texting you a few weeks ago. I want
Oh
to quote
yeah,
for the guys what I wrote to you
yeah.
in my text.
Please do, please do.
I said, after studying our teams for trades, I realized yours, Gio, really doesn't seem like a 1-5 team. Pain Train, on the other hand, is obviously riding on Chinese-made track. And you said, ha ha ha, probably why they have so many injuries, brittle steel. I said, yes, Gio, too many additives. Unlike that pure Wisconsin grass-fed cheese you've been serving up for the rest of the season. As a fan of fantasy football, I'm really excited to watch your courage start to form as Pain Train goes barreling off a cliff in a flaming display of mediocrity. And then you said, and I quote, yeah, I agree. I'm going to rise from the ashes like a beautiful loaf of leavened sourdough bread. Fuck Pain Train and everyone else in the league. I'm the best.
You definitely added that last line, but I appreciate the rest of it.
I may have, yeah, I may have added a little bit, but that was
Uh,
basically it. So I'm not even going to go through Snyder's players. That's my take.
One of the better recaps we've had on this pod, I will say. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, David Montgomery is good. I'll say that.
I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, the guy again going back to that trade with another trade, if we want to analyze trades, um, one of the I wouldn't even say one, easily the most manipulative person I know, and easily the most manipulative manager is Logan, and he ends up getting
Logan,
this.
of course.
Yeah, 100%. And he gets off on this ridiculous trade with Train. On paper, it looks probably fine. I mean, there's a lot of good names in it, but Train gets back Evan Ingram, who he obviously had a fascination for, and he pairs it up with Trevor Lawrence. Those guys get him 7 points this week. 7. So just not a great start from the a Jags stack that he wanted to put together for Ingram. He trades away arguably his best player besides Jefferson, Kamara, to Logue, and then gives him Singletary, who
I can't believe that, dude. It screwed me too. That's another
yeah,
reason I'm
well,
mad at Snyder.
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, and then he gives him Singletary, who like probably just a throw on player, but Singletary now looks like he's the leading back. Had a hell of a week um, for Houston. So like the whole trade. I mean, I get it. It's all relative to the manager and what you want and who you're looking for. And on paper, everything looked normal. I was shocked to see that Snyder traded away another back that he's been loving all the whole season in Kamara, for Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley, he was on a terrible team. I mean, I love Saquon, I
terrible,
really do, but their
terrible.
team is dog shit. And you give away a full point PPR monster in Kamara, for Saquon, and I don't know. Again, like, they're not obviously tanking. I just joked about that, but it sure as hell looks like it. Just based on some of these trades that the Snyder brothers had in the build up, I should say, for week 10. So yeah, just a tough loss from Pain Train. And then just a note, I mean, Steve kind of hit on a bunch of, I mean, almost everybody scores 20. It looks like going down the list here. I mean, CJ Stroud, he finally gets smart and
Finally
plays
plays
CJ
him.
Stroud. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. After tinkering with his lineup, if you want to call it. Fields is back this week, so you got some decisions to make, Steve. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what he does there. I mean, everyone else hits. I mean, his team's he's got a good team. I mean, Steve on paper has a really solid team. Javonte Williams, I just wanted to note too. I mean, I've been shocked with him over the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's kind of like back in form. We kind of talked about on some of the previous pod. I mean, 12, 18, and
Yeah.
21. I mean, he's finally getting in double digits and 21
Yeah,
rushes.
his averages. I think this game was his best at average yards per carry. His yards per carry haven't been great, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's a nice piece for him. I mean, just to kind of throw in.
I like San Fran's D because like the fact that San Fran lost a couple games. I think their D is. I mean, they just came out and just walloped Jacksonville. It was embarrassing.
Their defense is scary. That was in Jacksonville too, which is even the scarier part because they were on the road. And
Yeah.
that D line, obviously, we noted the Chase Young trade, or maybe we noted it, or just in the chat. But yeah, they just got better. So yeah, Steve's definitely trending up. Good win for him. I mean, he gets to 5-5. He gets in that 500 mark going in, and yeah, it's a crapshoot here now in the next 4 weeks to see who's going to get in. Because 9 teams are at 5-5 or above. All right, let's go. Let's do my matchup first. I mean, this is so depressing. Like every week I come on this damn thing and talk about how my team can't get to
I was
100.
hoping you'd take Andre down too.
Yeah, I mean, it was written in the stars that I like had the most formidable possibility to take down the number 1 seed, just based on who he was missing. I mean, Andy and I played each other in 2 leagues. We're obviously just focusing on this one, so we were kind of just texting all week.
Oh, you played in Lube too?
I played him in Lube, yeah, and he picked. I mean, it was kind of like the same thing for me. I had AJ Brown and Tyreek there. He had Hurts and Tyreek in this one, so kind of just going back and forth that, some of our studs and our horses are out. So, going back to, again, that trade, just to kind of note on Andy's side of things, like he gets Boyd as like a throw in from Phil, like on the week that Higgins isn't playing. I'm like, that sucked, especially playing Boyd this week, looking at his lineup, kind of a throw in player in that trade, and ends up putting up 19 because there's literally nobody else to throw to besides him and Chase. So, I mean, that kind of
Boyd looked
sucked.
great
Kind of,
though.
he did. And besides that drop, I mean, that that last drop was
Wow.
they should have won. I mean, that would have easily killed me off too in this matchup. But
And
yeah,
that
I
was
mean that.
right at. I think that was right after he made that great play, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was right on that
Yeah.
same drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, true. And on my side, I mean, I had Cooper Kupp on bye. Higgins, obviously, as I noted, Pacheco's on bye, who's been kind of trending down a little bit. But he's been my most consistent back outside of Jacobs. So, again, really, the only note that I have, I'll lead up to this. The only note that I really have outside of those couple bye players is just like I for whatever reason I don't have any studs on this team. And the way that I constructed this draft, I thought, okay, I'm going to get Kupp. I have Jacobs. He'll be solid. Aaron Jones. James Cook, who I'm going to get to here in a second, I loved. I thought, okay,
Yeah.
it's his backfield.
I love him
It's
too.
we know we will talk about that in a sec too. But going into that Monday night matchup, I'm down 10 and he's got Judy and I have Cook. I'm like, okay, not crazy to think that I'm at least going to be competitive in this game, hopefully. But knowing the cap that is on James Cook, he's got to score a long touchdown. He's got to score a receiving touchdown. He's not going to get goal line work. It's only him. I'm sorry, it's only Latavius Murray and Josh Allen. Those are the only guys that get touches inside the 10. So sure enough, watching that game starts out. I'm actually making pizza. This is actually a hilarious story for the league on Monday nights with my dad. My dad goes, "Oh, who's number 4 for Buffalo?" "Oh, it's James Cook." I wasn't really paying attention. He goes, "Oh, he just fumbled." "Oh, great." That's how the game starts. I don't even see the play. My dad tells me that number 4 on Buffalo has fumbled. Andy and I are texting, and I think I sent something like, "Wow, definitely going to have a huge game from James Cook tonight." Start with that start. Sure enough, he's thrown in the doghouse, which is silly. I mean, the guy, he had one fumble in his whole career besides that one on Monday night. And they looked terrible as an offense. Buffalo has just looked not themselves. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going
it's
on in
weird.
Buffalo. Yeah, it's just
It's
odd.
weird.
And finally gets
It's been
some
a
run in
couple
the second.
weeks too.
Yeah, no, and they're 5-5. I mean, they're in trouble. They're in a real fight, and they have a really tough schedule coming up, at least in terms of the games, to try to get into the playoffs. So it'll be interesting. But watching the second half as I come home, and I'm seeing some runs from James Cook, and the guy every week I watch him, and like that's why I'm so frustrated with him. He's good. He's a really good running back. Like he's got vision.
Oh,
He's
he
not a
came out
big.
angry after they put
He
him
was
back in.
running hard. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
looked good, and he had some good runs. Sure enough, it comes down to that final drive, and I mean, I'm sure most people watched it. I don't think Andy was watching it as we talked the next day, which made it probably sweeter for him because worse for me.
Yeah, it probably made it worse for you,
Yeah,
sweeter for
worse for
him.
me, sweeter for him. Yeah, that I'm watching this game, watching this last drive. He breaks one, and I'm like, go, go, go. As if he gets in the end zone, it's game over. Like the 6 points, the run, it's over. I'm going to win this game by like 2 points. He somehow gets stripped. It bounces up. He gets it, and he's still running. I'm like, oh my god, this is a miracle. This is like one of those fantasy like fable stories that you talk about, where like, hey, you remember that
I can
Monday
only
night game?
imagine your I can only imagine your anxiety.
You have no idea how. One, I had to be
I
quiet
have
because it was
some
late at night.
idea.
Yeah, yeah, but deep inside, I'm like, oh my god, here we go. Like this, finally, some good fortune this year for me because I've just been stepping in dog shit all year in terms of just players not performing well. Sure enough, he gets down to
Yes,
like
you
the
have.
10. They actually run it twice inside the 10 with the guy because he was running so well. Sure enough, he doesn't get in. He's at the 5-yard line. They take a timeout because he was like tired. He just got subbed in. Like, all right, cool. As soon as they come out of the timeout, he's not in. Josh Allen runs it in. I end up obviously losing by that 6 points. I needed the tutty. So super frustrating. That would have been a huge win for Green Bowl just to get in the hunt or stay in the hunt. And then
Oh yeah, you lost because you lost by what 5.4.
I lost by essentially
brutal.
6. Yeah. So the touchdown would have been
Yeah.
huge. And then them
6
phasing
would've
him
done
out.
it, yeah.
Yeah, them phasing him out was tough. So yeah, tough treading there. I mean, Andy finds a way to win this week against me, scoring 95 to your point, like you said, like a week or two ago, and you did that. I mean, scoring 100, sub 100 and winning is rare, for sure in this league. And then he had 2 monster players. I mean, or 3 if you want to call. Well, Kelsey he just picked up, which is unbelievable. But I mean, Hurts,
Yeah, Kelsey,
Hill,
Hurts, and Hill right there. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's got. Thank God I didn't play against
Yeah,
Kelsey on the
talent.
trade. But yeah, his team is scary. His team's going to be really, really good. I mean, he's up there with some, with Anthony, a couple of those other guys that from like top to bottom, he's got some really big guns that can score a lot of points. So, this was the week to get him. Unfortunately, I don't. So there's really nothing else to note. I mean, puts up 95. I mean, the Baker Mayfield play and, Boyd was the trade piece that he got. That's really it. I mean, those are
Love
the only
that.
outliers. Yeah. But yeah, another tough loss for Green Bowl. I mean, the league's got to love that I'm having the year that I'm having and I'm hosting this pod every week. It's tough. But
yeah, you've
I
also
don't know.
won what, 3 championships?
I've won 4. So yeah, again, yeah, Rick. So again, going back to that comment, I think was actually my comment that nobody likes a repeat champion, which I don't know if anyone has done. I don't know if anyone has done. Actually, I have to look at the history there, or at least not in the 12-man league. And nobody wanted Snyder to win, and nobody's rooting for me. I have 4 championships.
I think didn't you have a back-to-back year or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I had a chance. I think Snyder beat me. I think I had made a final.
Well, you don't think so, dude? You would remember. Like if I won once, I would remember. If you won twice in a row, you would remember.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I mean, I've won a few championships in a few leagues,
you
so
have.
it's hard to keep track of.
The answer is you haven't.
Probably not.
All right, who's next? Let's keep moving here.
Yeah, well, we're going with you because you're the last matchup from week 10 that we need to recap. So take it away. This is your matchup to talk about.
Yeah, well, I just want to say going into this that I threw the game. Lord Winchester, he offered to send me a dick pic if I throw the game, so I threw the game. And he still hasn't sent it, so it's kind of like the Ryan situation. Although Ryan paid up eventually, which was great. I respect that. Yeah, actually, hold on one second. Well, speak of the devil. Look who it is. You there? Oh.
This is a special appearance.
Oh, God.
Your leader. Your king. Your dictator.
I have the power to mute you guys. What's up,
Logan? You have no power.
He has the power to end the league, Gio. Bite your tongue.
You think you can mute me? You are a fool.
I fully expected an appearance from Logue tonight. So, all right, break down your matchup. Break up your matchup here, Logue.
Yeah, Logue, we're breaking down.
I am not your puppet. I will not do as commanded.
Yeah, you know what, Logue? You take it, dude.
I can put my little pinky down and your little charade sham of a show comes to us.
You're a guest on it. You're a guest on
it. Did you just call me a guest? This is what is remind me, what's the name of your show?
Are you gonna take this?
What's the name of your show?
Hey, you didn't create the other league.
This is the other league podcast, Lord Winchester.
I may not. I may not have created the other league, but I am the other league. The league dies if I die. The league breathes when I breathe.
We just lost like our 4 listeners. Oh god, that's great.
Yes.
Well, the bastards do feel, even though we've suffered some catastrophic injuries and some bust players, we have managed to keep ourselves afloat.
Definitely.
Which is
100%.
par for the course, isn't it? Isn't it par for the course, Rick?
It is par for the course for you. Now, Logue, I was telling the Gio and the listeners about how I threw the game this week because you told me you'd send me a dick pic, and you haven't sent the dick pic yet, and I'm just upset about it. So
Rick, I thought you'd be happy with a picture of my asshole.
I didn't hate it. I'm a man of integrity, and we had a written agreement that we both signed, and it's a dick pic, not an asshole pic.
I will apologize for not coming through on the picture of my my penis. However, I thought it would be appropriate to send you something that gives birth to the namesake of your team, Shit
Smart.
Blizzard.
That's a good spin.
I appreciate the sentiment. I do, but
I thought it was very appropriate considering who you are. Anyway,
right.
Let's get back on track.
Let's get this podcast back on track there. Yeah. All right.
I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of my kingdom and my peasants, and I must keep them happy. If I'm to have order, which I must have, I don't want to have order. I want chaos. However, chaos breeds death, and I want life. I need to have order. And that being said, let's go on to my matchup.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're breaking down. We're actually finishing week 10, Logue. So this is a good time for him to call you. So give me your insight and your, let's call it your manipulation of Snyder in your trade, because that led into what I think is, I mean, it makes you a pretty formidable team. I mean, spin it how you want to spin it, but getting Kamara is a huge piece.
Yeah, to be
How'd
honest,
you manipulate him?
So I'll just start from the beginning. About 2-3 weeks ago, when
He goes back to 8th grade. Let me start from the beginning.
When I was just a young boy, I first felt the pleasure of manipulation. No, so
that's actually hilarious. That's great.
So
yeah, I mean, he's been dying.
I've been I've been trying to get rid of Saquon ever since the Giants decided to shit the bed every week, and it didn't really come to I couldn't really find a suitor, and Snyder, who I like to I'm like, you say I'm a pigeon, and he's what is he what can we say he is? Anything. Trash or something. Let's call him trash. Let's settle on that. I like to go up and I like to peck and eat from the garbage. So there's some good things in garbage, right? So I saw Alvin Kamara.
There are good things in garbage. Tax returns, you can steal someone's identity in garbage.
If you look closely, garbage does have some gold. It does. So in my pecking, I did see that there was an opportunity here. Snyder's been trying to get Evan Ingram from me for a while, and I didn't want to. Not until I was lucky enough to pick up Dalton Schultz, and I guess Taysom Hill, whatever. I had 3 tight ends. I had people to ship off, and he really wanted Ingram. I had Saquon, which I thought, hey, technically, put on the quotes of RB1. I wouldn't agree with that, but not this year. and put the names out there. And for some reason, I wish I could spin it a different way, because I manipulated him into wanting George Pickens. However, he wanted George Pickens in this deal.
Terrible.
And I did not even ask. I hate to say this, I'm going to do it. I did not ask for DK Metcalf. That name was thrown in there with his offer for Saquon and George Pickens. DK Metcalf would pick it. So it was Pickens, Saquon, Evan Ingram for Alvin Kamara, Metcalf. And then he said, I'll just throw somebody in there because he's got to drop somebody. So he wanted to drop, I guess, Singletary.
Unbelievable.
Who,
yeah.
As you could see from the matchup, or
just
the
about
points on the bench here,
Yep.
that's 23 points that he had. So that was his trash that he wanted to give to me. And, of course, it's not trash.
You pecked that trash, Logan. Way to peck that trash.
RB1 Houston probably now. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been, if it was dropped, he probably would have spent the rest of his fab. So that would have been satisfying too to see. So I don't know. I don't know if I won that or not.
So to fill you in on some previous comments before you jumped on here, since we're not live streaming, and you couldn't listen in, but I jokingly said that the Snyders, like a PSA to the Snyders, that tanking at the end of the year does not assure you a number one pick. So I don't know what both of those guys are doing. I know they're desperate, but they are just trading away your better players, and in Phil's case, the best player for him, Kelsey, makes no sense. So again, not saying that trade on paper was that bad for you and Snyder. I think it was. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good names in it, but his love for Kamara and how well he's been doing in a PPR league, and he didn't even really have that great of a game. He still got 18 for you this week. So I just don't.
That was
I don't
crazy, dude. He got so much garbage time points.
Two point conversions.
He got so many.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's crazy.
I think that you need to make a note for next segment with Snyder.
I have a lot of things written down.
What he was thinking on that, because
you're gonna like our segment on Snyder that I did. You'll see it tomorrow.
Good.
I just don't.
I need to know
understand
what he was thinking.
Yeah,
I would love to know.
I mean, even giving up DK, which I think in the way that he drafted his team, the way that we've had some discussions with him, like DK wasn't really a player that he had any value in for whatever reason, even though I think he's a number one. Jefferson's still not coming back potentially not coming back this week. So he's got a lot of holes to fill, and who's he filling them in with? George Pickens? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand the logic of I understand if you're a bottom feeder team like we are, and I'm included in that, trying to get rid of a player and get some value back, but you still want to be competitive. I mean, if one of us, me and Snyder, win 4 in a row and we finish 7-7, we have an outside chance, a very small chance, but a very outside chance of still making the playoffs. Probably not going to happen.
I don't think
it's feasible.
Snyder should never be thrown into a conversation or even a sentence with the word tanking. He would never do such a thing.
No, I know.
I agree.
No, however, what he is guilty of is involuntary tanking. He does not know it, but he gets something happens to Pain Train towards the end of the year where he wants to perfect his lineup, and he overthinks things to a degree, gets very excited, and I don't blame him. It's very exciting. Yeah, we're all feeling, our hearts are pumping. We're pumping.
Mine's pumping a little less.
Gio's going to the hospital every weeks 14 to 15, 16, all those weeks.
God, I can't even tell you what my blood pressure's been this season. It's been high.
So I don't think it was not, of course, tanking or any best players. The guy got simply a little excited. I will say this, I'm gonna blow up his spot. He is very guilty of getting I guess a hit of dopamine when he sees new players on his roster. So
Yeah.
he might be one. It might be fair to say we may have an addict of trading in our league.
Well, I
Hey,
think
I've been there.
I will say this. Yeah,
I've
I
been
will say this. So
there.
there's always
I
like the
might still be
heavy
there.
And
heavy
I'm
hitting.
there too.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you two for sure are the heavy hitting trading guys, or like guys that are just insane. Andy, another one. I think all of us want to make trades, but like maybe aren't as crazy as like trying to trade away like good players. All right, so like I think that's the biggest thing. Like some guys are like, I'm gonna trade away my best running back or my best wide receiver.
Yeah, dude,
You
like,
guys don't give a
like
shit.
Kelsey, like
Yeah.
like
Yep.
the Kelsey trade was just crazy to me. Like that was nuts.
Yeah. I mean, Andy just
There
again,
are three types of managers. There are managers that are careless. There are managers that are tense or crazy, kind of like me and Rick and Andy and Eric. And no, I will
I'm
then say there
conservative.
are managers that are scared. When it comes to trading specifically, there are managers that are a little scared. And Gio is one of maybe
made a
number
trade
2
today.
or 3.
Yeah,
Number
no,
one.
That's Gio and Anthony, dude. Anthony will not get rid of any player.
Yeah.
I will say this: Anthony at least will go through the step. Anthony's made trades. He's not scared. He's done it. He's scared of maybe trading his starter.
That's true.
But
I'd be scared of trading anyone on my team if I were Anthony right now. I give him that.
I will say more than
Right.
any year before, and right, probably because my team sucks, or at least record wise sucks. I have been talking to, I feel like, almost every manager besides you, Lug, because I feel like we would just, there was really no players for us to trade. Like there's nobody on your team that I really
Well, it's
wanted.
because I'd get you on the golf course and I'd get you in a cart with me, and then I'd fully embrace manipulation.
Thank God that can't happen anymore. Well, at least it can't happen as frequently. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would agree. I think there's definitely tiers to it. And you kind of know, I mean, the guys that you're just talking about, like you, Rick, and Andy, like, I mean, I'd say crazy managers. I always called Rick the craziest manager, but I mean, Andy's probably, I would say, the craziest because he's just firing trades constantly. I mean, I think that 1 week.
You're just a little nervous to make trades. You're just a little nervous. Now,
Well, I mean, if I'm good, I don't want to trade anyone.
There are 3
Speaking
managers
of which,
I would like to
approve
list.
our trade.
Oh,
What
okay,
is
I can do that. After I list, I will do that as I am listing my top 3 managers in the league that overvalue their whole team. And this is based on not this year. This is based on 11 years that I've been in the league. Number 3, Nils. Number 2 is Ryan.
How is
And
Ryan not ahead of me?
Number one, in terms of overvaluing who they have, basically making it impossible to make a trade with this guy.
Oh,
Number 1 is Arby's.
Oh, he's the worst, dude. Dude, he wouldn't trade Jalen Warren to me.
He's the worst. I hope he hears it.
He will hear it tomorrow.
He will hear it. It's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, I agree.
What else is he doing?
Ben and I have, I don't think, maybe in multiple leagues that we've been in, and there's been a lot of them over, 12 years or 13 years, like you said. I don't think I've ever made a trade with Ben. I'm in any league, because every time I even engage him,
I've never made it. I've definitely never made a trade.
It's pulling teeth. It's just like, dude, like, even fair offers. It's just like, dude, like, I'm giving you a fair. In some cases, I might be giving up a little bit more than I want, but I want a certain player on your team. Doesn't even entertain it. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough trading. With that being said, there's been a lot of trades.
I want to make a comment also with my list there of top 3 people that overvalue. I want to say that's an exclusive list because I just entire league, and I of course discuss trades with all of these people. I have not experienced any difficulty like I have with Nils, Ryan, and Ben. Those 3 are whacked.
So they're in a league of their own, is what you're saying. It's like
They're in a
3 and then just everybody else.
I would put
separate.
honestly,
You're correct.
I would reverse, and I would say that I would agree with you on the top three for sure. There, I would reverse and put Ben as 2 and Ryan at 1. Ryan is incredible to try to trade with. I mean, in the worst way, I will say that. And he probably thinks it's the best thing in the world, but like I will say this, and we can kind of throw this out here now that the weeks passed. When Amon-Ra St. Brown wasn't going to play that Monday night, and I have Josh Reynolds. He was like 2 Mondays ago or 3 Mondays ago. He like offered me like Chase Claypool for Josh Reynolds, and it was like Sunday night. I'm like, dude, why would I ever consider this trade, Ryan, to like just better you? And he wasn't gonna win. It was just for points because he was down like 50 points to Aaron that week. And I just thought to myself,
say this at least he sends offers, even though they might be shitty and they might be crazy. At least there's some offers sent.
I'll say this also.
Ben's afraid to even hit that button that says send offer.
Yes. I'll say this too about Ryan. This is a good segue into something I had about Ryan. Leading up to the podcast, I asked Ryan, how much do you care about winning the other league? Between on a scale of 1 to 10.
Look at this guy interviewing.
He said, and I quote, 0. And then he sent a separate. Then he sent a separate text that said, "I don't give a shit about winning this league. I just want to steal my friend's money and take it from the table of their family. If losing the league meant that I could do that, I would be dead last every year."
God, I just feel so much respect for him.
That's one of the most, coming from him, that's a fitting statement from him, but one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. That's hilarious. That's great. That is great.
God, I love Ryan after that.
I
still think he's a shitty trader, but that's a great quote.
Let's look, you staying on? You want to do the pick'ems with us?
Yeah, why the fuck not?
That's what I wanted to hear. All right, let's speaking of Ryan, let's start from the top. I'm playing Ryan this week. Hot off a fresh trade with Rick. What do you think of the trade? What do you think of the trade? Logue, you're a bystander.
Well, I haven't even fucking seen this shit, so I'm gonna click it right now. Well, it might be. It is your honor for me to read this out loud.
We already saw it.
Hold on, guys. Let me hold on 1 second. I forgot. We got to do the ad read. We got to do the ad read. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Just hold on, guys. Are you fucking depressed? Is your tight end underperforming? Is your bitch wife refusing to ride your dick because you just did it 2 days ago? Did you draft Jeff Wilson Jr. instead of Devon Achane? Are you feeling like a fucking pussy? Well, hold on. Lost my spot here. Well, have no fear. Cutwater is here.
What?
To solve all your fucking problems with flavors like Mai Tai, Margarita, Moscow Mule, and more. Cutwater is here to make sure you don't give a shit with 12% ABV. And for those of you who can imbibe, don't worry. We've also partnered with Canada Dry. Now you can drown out those dumbass kids with the sweet sound of carbonation. Just head to your local liquor store and mention the Other League podcast for 69% off those delicious beverages. Back to you, G.
That was phenomenal. That really was. That might have been the best little segue we've had in a while. I think we have to start incorporating.
I almost forgot.
Am I supposed to be aroused after these kind of things?
Dude, that is. It's funny because like Snyder and I jokingly said like if we just came on once every pod and just like on a whim just said like, hey, sponsored by, like, and just made it up. We're not obviously sponsored, but like just did something stupid. But that was spot on, by the way. Go ahead, read the trade off, Logan. We didn't mean to interrupt our sponsors. It was time for a sponsor read.
Yeah. Let me get to the good stuff. Got a pending transaction here between Shit Blizzard who's going to be sending away Cole Kmet. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Wait
no.
a minute. I'm reading it
Receiving.
correctly. Oh my God. Oh. All right. So Ship Blizzard is going to be getting Cole Kmet and James Cook, and he is going to be sending away for some godforsaken reason George Kittle
Mm-hmm.
and Brown. And that trade is now approved. And you have just won the trade, Gio. That is a horrible trade, Rick.
Yeah.
He's a running back. All right. So
Oh, Rick, that's a joke.
What a joke.
verdict's still
Speaking
out.
about,
but-
let's bring up tanking again.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
factoring in the trade. Let's stay the course here. Let's do the pickups.
Gio, put your guy in, dude. Put your guy in. You can do it
Yeah,
live.
let's stay on track here. Let's stay on track. I need order.
All right.
I need order.
All right, let me. Now that my guy's picked, I'm gonna pick. Oh. I'm gonna put Marquise Brown in, and I'm
But
gonna
while you guys are setting your lineup, I'll say at least on our matchup, Ship Blizzard versus Baratheon's Bastards, I would have beaten him with my bench by a lot.
I think we're past that on the pod, but yeah, I didn't look at your bench.
Yeah.
That was a
Good work.
good win. Good win.
Again,
all right, so my
send the
lineups.
pick, dude. Please. Just make sure when you send the pick to let me know, because if my boys are around me when I get that picture, I'm not going to be happy. Because if anyone's going to be doing gay shit in my house, it's going to be me. Okay.
God.
So just give me a heads up.
So what you're saying is the gay gene is not hereditary.
I hope not. I fucking hope not.
See.
Not in my house.
Let's
God.
get to
All
the
right,
pick'ems.
thank God. Let's get to the pickups. All right, let's start with me and Ryan. We're talking about Tiburon. Projections again are projections, but got me in a lopsided matchup here. Who's he got on? Oh, Bijan's on bye this week. Yeah, I forgot. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, you guys are looking at it like I am. I hate picking against myself or for myself, I should say. I like to do the reverse jinx, as everyone's noted on this pod.
Yeah, it's like I said before. Your
just
curves
say
are
you
forming.
picked it.
You got this. Yeah, you got.
I got-
it. I mean,
I
he's
got-
got no chance.
I got Green Bull, but I mean, Green Bull's been terrible this year. So, but I like the lineup this week, especially with the new horses I got. George Kittle's having a big week this week for me.
He's playing two backup running backs. Like if you got to win, unless you have an insane week where like none of your guys catch the ball.
And he's playing two backup running backs, and he's also, to note, playing two tight ends, which hasn't been the worst decision
I will
the
say
Bastards
this.
can say. Good.
I've won two, and Aaron actually reminded me of this. Aaron, shout out to you for texting me and saying, "Fun fact: you are 2-0 when you play two tight ends this
Wow, good to know.
I was very impressed by that.
I will say the league's very involved. I like it.
I do love that. So here's your kicker, Gio. If Lamar Jackson, and this is tomorrow night, Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, if they have very good chemistry and they start going off, if they've got probably over 45, 50 points, you might be in trouble. If they stay below 40, I think you're in good shape.
I like that.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, they could go off. Lamar Jackson could have 40 and Andrews could have 25. And then you're in that situation.
Yeah, it'll be
they're matching in Cincinnati. Because Cincinnati could put up a lot of points, and then it's just like, dude, they're just going to go back and forth.
I think that's going to be a tight.
He is pretty good.
I will pick
for
this matchup. I will pick number 2 in worst traders, Tiburon.
Wow, you son of a bitch! All right, Tiburon gets picked by the Bastards, our second guest, or I should say our commish. Sorry.
Fun fact: it's a lose-lose for whoever picks in Gio's matchup, because if you pick him, you jinx him, and if you pick against him,
he hates it. Yeah. Yeah. No one wins with me. Let's go to the Bastards against Beeve, since we have our esteemed commish. He's got all of his players playing this week. Got Tank Dell thrown in the lineup, like him over Metcalf. All right. What do you think?
Maybe swapped out at 12:59, just like Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
I think
it's gonna be a tight one.
I'm not picking this. I'm not picking this because it's my matchup.
Gio, can
Okay.
you enable screen sharing? I've got something for this thing here.
You're asking a lot. Here we go. Let's see. How do I give you access to share your screen?
There's under screen sharing. There's a way to do it for sure.
What noob?
Under yeah. I mean, I don't.
It's the big button in the center that shows a screen with an arrow.
Nah, that's not it. Hold on. I'm doing it right now. I actually found it.
Perfect.
My boy is growing up. Do it.
I'm not great at it. I think you can share now. Rick.
All right. Let me
I think.
do this. Share screen. Yeah, we got it. For the boys, I'm gonna put this up here for 5 seconds. Although you can just pause it. This is a little segment I like to call "Name That Beeve" with the Beeve.
I don't.
The
Is
winner
it
of this-
showing?
What a name.
There
there
it is, boys. The winner of this, the first person to text me the correct answer, courtesy of the Beeve, he's paying for it. $5 on Venmo. All right, there it is. We're gonna stop sharing now.
Absolutely incredible. It gets better every week, every minute with you guys here. All right,
Back to you, G.
What a tease for me. I can't see shit.
Basically, it was just you'll see tomorrow.
I know. I'll wait.
So,
$5. Send me a Venmo. I'll send it to you.
Who's your pick, G?
This is gonna be a really close one. Just kind of looking at it on paper. I mean, I think you have some options too at your flex. So their flex is probably TBD, to be honest with you. I mean, you could play Singletary too, to be honest with you.
I've got the Beeve. I'm gonna go on record. I got the Beeve.
I'm gonna pick.
He's hot, dude. The Beeve. The Beeve is hot right now.
I'm gonna pick the Bastards.
No.
Why? I mean,
he hates
every time you pick me, I lose.
He hates it.
At least you're tuning in the pod. I like to hear that. I just think I like your matchup. I like your matchups better.
No, my matchup sucks. Come on.
All right, I already laid claim. I'm picking you, not because you're on the pod. I like the matchups better. We'll see if that comes back to bite you in the ass next week. All right,
I'm
let's
gonna
move
put
on.
10 grand on the fucking Beeve now.
I mean, if that was the trend, that'd be great. Let's go to Finkel and Pain Train. I mean, I think this is a consensus pick. I mean, are we all on Finkel? I mean, how do we pick against the guy?
Yeah, the train is off the tracks, dude. The train is off the tracks. He's in the woods. He's in a flaming ball of dysfunction. What's Saquon Barkley gonna finally resurrect and become Saquon Barkley from 2020? No,
probably not.
He's done.
I think I
love Snyder. Let me go on record. I love Eric Snyder. He's a great guy. He's my favorite. But he's done. It's over.
I think it's only appropriate for me to say this because his team, as we all know, half of the players in the team are my players that I drafted.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's even playing. Well,
I think that he's going to put up a fight. However, you can't go against the point train of Finkel.
Yeah, Finkel's hot, dude.
Yeah,
luckily for us, though, the best team never wins. That's all we have going for us because he's got.
That's only in the playoffs.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right.
I would argue. I mean, right now,
now
it's hard to argue between him and Andre. I mean, in terms of best teams. I mean, Andy just got better, unfortunately, with that Kelsey trade. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's hard to pick against Finkel just based on his depth and just the guys he has. I mean, he's some horses, man. All right, this is going to be a really good matchup. We're going with
Well, I do have one thing to say about Anthony's team. I will say Dak Prescott likes to choke late in the year. Keenan Allen getting older, kind of has
hurt.
a hamstring issue now.
Mhm.
DJ Moore is dealing
Don't pull
with
him.
ineptitude of an offense. Christian McCaffrey, stud. Travis Etienne,
Stud.
trending down. Kate Otten, the name is Cotton on the app. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think depth wise though, I mean, like Mike Evans. I'm just saying, like there is some pieces. I like Andy's team on paper, but
Right.
more. I think.
yeah, best ball. I love his team. He's deep as shit. But guess what? You can't start all these guys. You got to start a tight end, and
Yep.
Cotton's not going to get it done.
Well, he's got
I'm worried about him down the road. However,
2 weeks.
he's the best.
2
right
weeks
now.
to well, he's second best, we'll say. But I mean, point wise, yeah, he's the best. But yeah, I think he's got a couple weeks to make a trade too. I mean, there's guys that have multiple tight ends still, so we'll see. I think in this matchup though, I got him. I mean, I wouldn't say he's the best team. I still think Andy's better than him. Let's go to you. This is
Yeah,
a
he
big.
does have a couple weeks to make a trade. However, he is number 2 on most scared managers to trade, and Gio being number 1.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's hereditary.
It's not wrong.
Unlike the gay gene, the terrified trader gene.
Like, it's a gene. It's genetic.
There's no way YouTube
Put
not
it down. It's
from
genetic.
pulling this off their platform immediately when they
Between this
screen us.
and name that beef, we're done, dude.
This one's not staying on. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if Snyder's going to even put this on after he watches it. Any case, let's move. Let's move on.
I said I loved him. I didn't mean that. I do love him.
I'm not because of that, more so for other banter. But
We all love him.
another 6-4 matchup here between two teams: Arby's and Shit Blizzard. This is a huge matchup this week. 3 versus 5. Gonna be a tight one. Go ahead, Lo. You didn't make a pick last week. Oh, look at this!
What?
Busting out a little beef sandwich.
See this, Gio? This is what I think about our matchup right here.
This is insane prep work.
What's he doing?
This is how I'm going to handle the matchup this week. Bite. Oh.
An Arby's melt.
God. Oh my God, I hear it doing.
So good.
This is a double roast beef sandwich, baby. No horsey sauce, nothing. And I'll tell you what, it's trash. This thing is
like
fucking terrible. This organization needs to be burned to the ground. Okay? I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know how he's 6-4. The guy needs to focus more on his football team and less on the circumference of his belly. It's unbelievable.
I think
Okay,
he's right.
so-
I think the 5 for 5 is fried. He's done, judging by that sandwich.
He's fucking done, dude.
Oh,
Look at
that's
this.
a mouthful. He's got a mouthful.
That's not even real beef.
That's not real roast beef. That's fake.
What are we doing here?
You got to throw a little
I
cheese.
think
I'm
on
gonna
it.
eat it. I'm gonna
Rick
eat it
is chewing.
because I'm a man.
He's chewing through the week. Through Arby's.
I'm a fucking man.
That was one of the better taunts that I've seen on an Arby's matchup. That's great. This is gonna be a tough one though.
Arby's
I will
has-
say, go ahead.
Yeah, Arby's he's got 2 very strong receivers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rest of his team is very cheap deli meat.
That's right.
Yeah,
You couldn't
I mean, I
even
think-
buy this in the deli. You could try to buy this in the deli, and they would say, "Oh no, we don't have that." Because you'd say, "Oh, do you have brown plastic that we've sliced into little sheets that you can buy and put in your mouth?" And they'd say, "No, we don't sell that here."
I
And
think
you'd be upset. Maybe.
Arby's team is a Subway sandwich from 2005.
Thank you. This is why we have you on the podcast, Commish. You are wise. You are wise.
This is going to be a really
unreal.
Close matchup, I think. Though I mean, just you're right. I do think that
How is he still in our league? How is he still?
You want to kick him out? Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah,
get him out, dude.
I just think he's finding ways to win with like pretty subpar performance. I mean, we talked about Rashad White, but like outside of that, I mean, his horses, AJ Brown, Josh Allen.
Yeah, don't make excuses for him. Don't make excuses for him. Oh, he's finding himself.
I mean,
the guy's 34 years old. It's a little late to be finding yourself. Like, learn how to make a sandwich. You know, go to a farm, buy an animal, and slaughter it, and then smoke it on a smoker, like a real man. What are you doing?
Hold back, Rick. Calm down. We are not doing boot of the year until week 14.
You're absolutely right, Commission. Take it away, boys. Take it away. I'm done on this matchup because I'm too emotional. You guys are out.
I'm gonna pick Rick. What do you got? What do you got, Yep. So I think that was a consensus on that. It's gonna be a tight one, I still think, but yeah, I got Blizzard there. Here's another really good. I mean, a lot of good matchups this week. Obviously, just in terms of like the board, Riggs and the Bandits. 6 and 7 here. This would be a huge win for Steve.
I got something for this too.
Oh my god!
I got something for this too.
The prep work.
Well, you guys talk. Let me see if I can get it up.
Go ahead, G. You can do it. You can start it off.
Appreciate that.
Do Riggs.
Yeah, I'll do Riggs. I mean, I don't really love necessarily like his receiving core necessarily. I mean, Devontae Smith and Addison. I mean, if Jefferson does come back, I don't know what that how many mouths can eat with Josh Dobbs throwing. Like, it's just I don't know how much offense that can sustain. And then at KC, I mean, could be a good matchup for Devontae Smith. I mean, he's got Fields coming back. I think you got to play CJ Stroud. Gibbs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to lean Bandits. Just initially here, it's a really close one. I don't really like his flex though. What the hell's the Bandits doing on his flex? Oh, Olave's on bye. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close one. What's going on with Mostert this week?
I really like Gibbs. I think he's one of the steals of the year. I think Eckler is now regaining his form and is going to be at least 20 points. Dalton Kincaid is he's a beast. That was a great pick. I think Devonta Smith has a great matchup. CJ Stroud's a stud. Addison, exactly what you said. I'm not sure, so whatever. And somehow Javonte Williams is putting up points in one of the weirdest running backs of the year. He looks pretty good. Calvin Ridley really fallen off. Jamar Chase, of course, he's a stud. Pollard, a dud. Mostert, 18 coming back. I don't love it. Hawkinson, stud. And Curtis Samuel. How the fuck is he still playing in the NFL? What the hell is that? So,
I like Riggs this week, actually. Now looking, like, just kind of once I went down to that flex spot, that's kind of what really teetered me. Because everything else, like, I mean, yeah, Pollard hasn't been good, but they're playing against Carolina. Like, he's going to get some run. The rest of his team's okay. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. I definitely think there's probably more consistent points from Riggs. What's going on over there, Rick? What are you getting on?
You want my take?
Yeah.
Or I got the Bandits, and here's why. Take a listen, boys. You hear this?
Oh, hey, Rick. Heard you needed a little sound bite for the pod. Thing is, the Bandits don't really need to bite this week, as we are just going to be relaxing and sipping on some Goose Island while we destroy this frickin' Riggs team.
There it is, boys. Gio, could you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. It was good.
Well,
yeah, we heard it. Aaron
was
had a
very
crack.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the Wet Bandits in this matchup strictly because they've got the right attitude. And Riggs, honestly, I gave him an opportunity to rebuttal, and he's apparently a bitch. I don't know. He's got one kid, and he thinks it's a lot. I've got 1,000, and I'm here eating Arby's, hanging out with you boys, drinking Mai Tais, and fucking.
Been great.
Here we are.
So the last
sometimes
matchup,
you gotta just look at the managers. You do, and
thank you. Yeah,
this is a
100%.
matchup of brothers, the brothers of the core guys, Ben and Rick. You got Steve and Aaron, right? Aaron,
yes,
bigger, stronger rugby player. Steve,
yeah,
short, bald, weak.
This is getting ridiculous. There's a ripping.
You hear that, Steve? You should have sent in a rebuttal because I asked you 3 hours ago. You fucking pussy. That's all I have to say.
Guess what? With that being said, I got
shit.
Riggs. I got Riggs because
my god.
Jesus. We are all over the place, boys. I love it. So the last matchup.
I got one more.
I mean, the 1 versus 12. Boy, this could not be any more lopsided on paper. Andy plays Colombian White. He's on a 6-game losing streak, as I mentioned earlier in the pod. Just trade away his best player to face him this week. That'll be fun. Can't wait to see Kelsey go off on Monday night against you and really bury you. I mean, he gets Swift, I guess, to watch that game. I don't know.
I have a proposal. Here for our last matchup here. I think we all know who we're picking in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should spend a little bit of time talking about the ineptitude of the franchise called Colombian White. When
Go ahead.
When has this franchise ever been a threat in this league? Can we remember? No,
I can't. He's made a playoff or two, but never a threat.
I think that's something we need to look into. How many playoffs he's made in the last 10 years? I think it might be 1.
Here's what I'll say.
If there's anyone that's rooting for him to finish last, we know it's Logan.
The guy does pay his dues.
He does.
They pay. The world needs ditch diggers too.
I actually have some notes about this. I have some notes about this matchup. So if you're okay with it, Gio, I'm going to take it away here.
Yeah, I want you. Please do. Please do.
Here's what I've written down. Okay. Colombian White's. Sorry, let me start over. Colombian White's team is trash. And quite frankly, I'm jealous. Finally, he can accept the dress and go back to enjoying football. There's no more wishing for insane things to happen. For example, last week, I wanted Josh Allen to throw one more pass for 32 yards and simultaneously get pummeled and enter concussion protocol. That's a terrible way to watch football. And now Colombian White can accept the fact that next year he'll be wearing a nice, beautiful sundress while we all ogle at his tiny balls. And for the next 7 games, he can actually enjoy watching his team win or lose. Like, that's a huge deal. I hate football right now because that's all I do is I watch and I wish for insane things to happen. Oh, I need George Kittle to score 30 to get 30 yards on 2 catches, not 3, just 2 catches. And also I need Josh Gordon, who doesn't play anymore, to just go die because I'm playing against him. It's a problem. It's horrible, dude. It's a horrible way to watch football. So I would say to Colombian White, well done. Your team is trash. go enjoy the rest of the year with whatever team it is that you root for, whether it's the Jets or not. I don't know what you root for. I don't know you that well. But all I know about you is that you smoke American spirits, and that's awesome because I have like one a year from you. But like, go enjoy football because your team is trash and it's over. It's over for you. Andy's going to win the team.
The unfortunate thing is my top 3 worst franchises in league history. Number 1, Colombian White. Number 2, Colombian White, and number 3, Fletcher Reed. So that's
not a good stat.
Dialogue.
He spits hot fire. Yeah, I mean it's been a
sorry.
And then I'll say this as well. Andy's got a lot of people talk about like, oh, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to be great. Andy's the opposite. Andy's got everything to lose. Andy's got, a lot of pressure. From what I hear, he's got an above average dick. He's got a hot wife, and he's got a hot new baby. The guy's dangerous.
Jesus.
The guy is dangerous. Okay, we got to look out for him. Okay, yeah. So Colombian White's got no chance this week.
You know
what?
He's
got absolutely no chance. That's my take. I'm not even looking at the players.
Yeah, there's one that's a really good take though, honestly, because there is something to it. Although I do think when you're in the bottom, there is a little bit of pressure of coming in last, right? I mean, it does. You still got to wear the dress. Phil's never done that, surprisingly. Even though we've talked about his mediocrity throughout the years, he's never come in last. So seeing him in a dress and doing a presentation would be fulfilling. Part of me would root for. Obviously, I'm not rooting for myself. There's only 3 teams down there. I almost kind of want to see Snyder come in last, only because I think we get a lot of entertainment of him just dissecting all of his waiver moves in that presentation would be fun. But I can't. I don't want to root.
You know what? You're
host.
spot on. I didn't even think of the punishment. You're right.
Yeah.
Eric will do so much, like a way better job.
Yeah. So I mean,
he'll do a way better job than Phil.
Out of that, so like it's like, do I like what kind of enjoyment would I get? I would get more enjoyment from Snyder, although I think if Jefferson's coming back, he will have a steadier team, even with the trade that we just kind of bashed him on a little bit.
Well, here's what we do, and we'll say it publicly. I don't care. Logue, you need to trade rape Snyder again and get Jefferson from him, so that
apparently he's on the table too, which is insane.
And can give us a sick PowerPoint, because we all know Eric will give us the best fucking PowerPoint we've ever seen.
Hands down.
Hey, Rick,
hands down.
Who do you think you're talking to? I'm already working on it.
Yeah, I can't believe that was publicized that Jefferson was on the trading block. But in any case, it is what it is. But yeah, I think
would be poetic, wouldn't it? If I had the defending champions' entire lineup to win the league.
That would be insane.
You don't want
he won the league with his starting lineup at the beginning of the year.
Logue wouldn't want me to say this, but I mean, I guess it's reasonable to say since we saw his roster. You've had really good teams in the past that obviously came up short. We've noted it in previous conversations, but like your steadying of the ship with your team is kind of funny that like you're right there in the hunt, and you wouldn't say this was by any means your best team that you put together. So you never know. You're right. Fantasy's weird. Not the best team always wins. And to your point, Andy's got a shit ton of pressure. I mean, on paper, he's got the best team. I mean, you can't really argue that. Maybe Anth just based on points, but how does Hurts?
Yeah,
Tyree,
maybe yeah.
Yeah, but look at his lineup.
Anthony has the best team, dude.
Yeah, I'm not trying to divert it. I just think those are the top 2 teams on paper. But I think overall, like horses, like Tyreek, Hurts,
I think I know what's going on here. You're trying to take the pressure off your brother.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot more pressure on a guy that's never won the league. All right. Any case, should we even do
power rankings? Because yeah, I got mine lined up here.
Yeah, mine's pretty straight. I mean, you got to juggle a couple, I guess, at this point. But I got Andy at 1.
Gio, did you track our picks so that next week we can see who won or whatever? Did you write
Yeah,
them
I mean
down?
the only difference that we have is that Logue picked Tiburon in my matchup.
I picked
and
Bandits. I don't think
you
did,
picked
right?
and you picked Bandits. Yeah, that was it. Everything else we were chalk.
Okay.
So yeah, I have it written
All
down.
right.
We'll keep track of it for next week. I got Andy at 1. I mean, he's 7-3. I think again on that trade with Kelsey, he just got better. You guys might argue. It sounds like you guys are on the Finkel train for 1, maybe.
I'll do mine. You just do yours.
You want to just run
I'll
through?
do mine.
Okay. I'll go.
Yeah, just run through it.
I got Andy.
I'm going to
at
be
1.
vastly different from you.
Okay, I like that. I got Andy at 1. I got Finkel at 2. I'm gonna go Ship Lizard at 3. This is tough. These are all like kind of interchangeable for me. I'm gonna go Arby's at 4. I'm gonna go Bandits at 5, Bastards at 6. I'm sure Logue loves that. As far down as I can put him, he probably loves that. 7, I'm gonna go with Riggs. I think it's chalk pretty much for me after that. I got Tiburon at 8, Beeve at 9, me at 10, Pain Train at 11, and then White at 12. So really the only difference that I made was sliding, I guess, Bastards and Bandits and Arby's down a little bit, I guess.
All right, I'm up. Here's what we got. I've got shit at number 1 because as soon as Kyron comes back, you guys are all fucked. Okay? The fact that I even got 1 win while he's been out is miraculous. So, and I just picked up another RB. You guys are fucked. Second, I've got Dre for the reasons I listed: above average piece, hot wife, hot baby, everything to lose. I've said all this. Number 3, I've got the Bastards. I've got the Bastards at number 3 because he's a manipulator. His dad, I don't know if he's alive or dead, but he's the best. He's a legend, and Logue's he's had to have learned maybe not everything from him, but a lot.
I've learned how to stay alive from my daddy.
Exactly. His daddy has taught him a lot. I've got the Bastards at number 3. Number 4, I've got Anthony because he's got the best team, so I'm going to put him at number 4. Tiburon, I've got at number 5 because Tiburon's got the right attitude. He doesn't care, and a guy that's got nothing to lose is you got to worry about him. I got Riggs at number 6 because he's my twin brother, and I figure I'm number 1. He shouldn't be anything worse than 6. I don't know who's on his team, but he's probably pretty good. 7, I've got Bandits because he called in. I thought that was pretty cool. 8, I've got Arby's because his team sucks and his sandwiches are terrible. 9th, I've got Green Bowl because he's on the rise, like we talked about. I can see him entering the playoffs right now. Right now, he's he's we'll say undervalued. Then from there on, it's easy. We've got Beeve. Beeve's in the league, so we can do name that Beeve. That's why he's here. After that, we've got Train because he's not the worst. Obviously, Colombian White is the worst. It's nothing's clear. It's clear as day. If there were anything clearer than the day, we would have a different phrase. But that's all we have is clear as day. It's clear as day that Colombian White is the worst. He's number 12 on my list. Logue, it's yours.
Wow.
All right, I'll make this nice and sweet. I got Finkel at number 1 because his team is fucking stacked. Number 2 is Andre. Number 3, this might throw you for a little loop. I got Tiburon.
Wow, number 3.
And that is because I think we've ignored his bench, and we have Bijan and we have Michael Pittman in there. And that makes a nice lineup. When you got that connection of the quarterback and tight end capable of going off, you're powerful. Number 4, I've got me.
Wow.
Number 5 is shit because he's just all right. Number 6.
Just all right.
Number 6 is Green Bowl Packers.
Whoa!
Oh,
Wow. What
For
a
the
fucking
soul
move.
I love it. I want to redo my rankings now. I want to put Gio 6.
At the start of this podcast, he was at exactly where he is, 10. But he just trade raped Ship Blizzard, so he is now 6. Number 7 is the Wet Bandits, and number 8 is Arby's, just barely getting there at 8. Number 9 is Pigs. Number 10 is Beef, and number 11 is Colombian White.
That was pretty consensus.
Number 12 is Miss Pain Train, because he'll be on the bottom when I talk to him in our negotiations. You, Gio.
That's hilarious.
This is great.
Boys.
And my computer just died, so my video's out, Gio. It's just you, baby.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that mid ranking from Logue. So yeah, all good. Yeah, it's been
Logan put you 6th, and my computer was like, I can't do this anymore. It just shut down.
That's when they knew the pod was fucked. They were like, oh, this pod's screwed.
Your computer bent over just like Pain Train to me.
Oh God. Yeah, no.
With that, boys, I will make my early exit because I deserve that. I am the king after all.
All right,
you will
we'll stay on for
and
1
wave
minute
to me.
extra.
We will not leave together because we are not equal. I will leave first, and you will wave goodbye.
Goodbye.
And maybe one day soon I will grace you with my presence again.
Oh, we'll get
It was
you
a
back.
pleasure, boy.
I love it.
Good to have you, Logue.
It was
See
a
you, bud.
pleasure. I love. He's gone. Gio, I'm no longer on video, but I do want to say thank you to our sponsors, Cutwater and Canada Dry, for
it's big. Way to go.
Supporting us. Yeah, it took a lot. I had to go. Honestly, they weren't very happy about it, but eventually they said okay.
Yeah, big.
That was good,
big
man.
for the,
it was a good
big
time.
for the pod. Yeah, big for the pod to get some sponsorship. Really love the shameless plug that I think you were referring to your own brother in when you threw the Cutwater out there. So I'm not sure who you were referring to. I want to say it was Steve, but that'll be TBD.
Cutwater?
Yeah. Who are you trashing there?
Yeah, Cutwater, dude. But the Cutwater?
Yeah,
literally.
Just everybody.
That's just what I had, dude. That's just what I had.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was
great. They agreed to sponsor us, dude. I had it and I called them up, and it was the craziest thing. They were like, "Yeah, we'll sponsor your podcast." Like, definitely. And I said, "Okay, great." And they said 69% off. That's cool. And I said, "Yeah, 69%."
They didn't realize that
we're the fucking number.
We're entitled to actually cover that 69% giving off, unfortunately. So yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
It's fun that you could jump on. I'm sure. I honestly TBD on Snide too. Unfortunately, I mean, he's got a new baby at home. Who knows? You might be back. We might be doing the same thing. As crazy as it was to have Logue on here, and God knows it wasn't the normal pod, but it was fun as hell. But yeah, it was a good time.
My plan was to throw some curveballs at you. So
that was great.
I hope that everybody enjoyed it.
I think it's definitely probably the most tune-in worthy pod to date, besides our debut, I would say.
Yeah.
Just based off the cameos we've had, having the commission on, Aaron's the Wet Bandits little banter, you eating Arby's. You gotta watch. You can't listen to it. You gotta watch it. So yeah, it was fun. It's been fun, man. I'm glad you can jump on with us.
Yeah, brother. Yeah,
all right, guys. For another edition of the League Pod. Yeah, probably. See. All right, bud.
All right, buddy. Later.
See you, man.